So does that mean that the police could not handle the armed robbery and kidnapping and cultism that was happening, hence the military had to move in?
If you judge by what happened at Igonla, the terrain of the kidnapping sometimes is not something that the police could go into. So if somebody is kidnapped on the land and is moved to sea or into the swamp, you believe me that we will need the Air Force and the Navy to do that.
Did we get them when that happened?
We did. It happened. The operation, bringing the operation to an end, took the, what's it called, joint operation of both the Navy, the Air Force, and the police.
Is that what we see now in Abia?
Well, what we see now in Abia is the result of uncontrolled situation. I believe that the situation could have been controlled better.
What do you mean uncontrolled?
Uncontrolled situation in the sense that we look at it down from the government down to the home value. You understand? All the people we see on the street protesting, which they have the right to, and taking it beyond reacting to situation. They wanted Biafra. That is what this is all about. How do we go about this Biafra? Why are there no leaders to guide these children, and even the leader to tell them that don't go about it in a way that is going to put the lives of other people in danger?
Let's look at that.
The police has a duty, and the military, they have one duty, to protect lives and properties. And the moment anything seems to be pointing to the direction of a threat to life and property, I think automatically response is going to be triggered from their part.
Yeah, but I did ask you if it's the same system that we saw with the Gonla scenario, but that's not what it is now, because there's an armor tank, we understand, that moved in and got to his house, and they thought, look, that's provocative. So if you see that kind of scenario, they react differently.
Provocative on the part of who? On the part of the police or on the part of the people that are protesting?
No, they say it was the army that moved in with an armor.
So the army is provoking them?
Yeah.
So they call it show of force, isn't it?
The show of force mean that...
when they call it show of force, they say show of force is part of military or security operations. Even the police do that. When complaint is happening, at the time I've initiated a show of force between the Agege region when cultism seems to be taken over. What is show of force? Carry all the police vehicles that are assigned, police officer well dressed, and carry them and drive through those areas.
Yeah, but that's
what they intend to do is just to send a signal to the people that want to perpetrate evil to think twice.
But is that what we have now?
Well, that happened. Let's talk about what we saw too when they were doing that. We saw youths throwing bottles, carrying sticks. Why will you be throwing bottle and stick against people driving, carrying AK-47 and throwing and carrying armor personnel carrier?
Do you think they had the right to do that?
It doesn't make sense.
Do you think they had the right to do that, though?
Well, I think we just had a lawyer in the house. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know the Constitution. But one thing I do know is this. When it comes to the issue of patrolling a disturbed environment or conflict-prone environment,
is that the same thing? Because if it's a training exercise, a show of force, is it the same thing when you say patrolling a troubled area?
I did not call training exercise a show of force. Show of force. Do you understand? Let's come back to wrestling. There was a time before, if I'm going to fight you now, you are my opponent. There will be a time when I will tell you what I'm going to do to you and what you're going to do to me. When we look at each other at face. It happens that in sport. Now, in security too, there are times that you just have to show that weapon in different form and in different situation. Now, we cannot relate that to Igbonla because we are only dealing with about 40 to 50 kidnappers who took about 6 children. You understand? That is a different scenario entirely, and it's different terrain and a different type of operation. But we're talking about a situation whereby some people are saying some group of people...
Were there kidnappings here?
Where?
In Abia.
In Abia, I think practically there's kidnapping in almost every state.
No, I mean with this particular show of force, yes. To have warranted that deployment and that movement.
Well, I don't know what intelligence the army has. And I wouldn't want us to kind of preempt or say things against them without...
No, I'm looking at we're presenting the views that those who are reacting, spoke about, to wait and see if they have a point or not. That's why we're bringing those kind of questions.
Must you have a point? Must you react against the military driving through? If you are saying the military went onto the street and started killing people, and the people reacted to say they are killing innocent people, I want to say that there has been an uprising as a result of what the military are doing. But if the military are driving through the streets,
well,
like we saw on the video clip, if we are going to talk to Nigerian based on what we saw now,
did you also see the pallets, the ones that were expelled?
Yeah, I saw that. I was trying to watch the video carefully in order to be able to know exactly what.
So what do you make of it?
That, well, we can talk about excessive force, but because the video clip did not really show what warranted it. I had the gunshot, and I always want to see. I've spoken to a few military men that I know to ask what exactly happened there. What were they responding to a threat? Were bottles being thrown to them? And I had the governor in his broadcast talking about people throwing petrol bombs and other stuff at vehicle.
But now that the police has stepped in, what level of civic restoration do you see coming in?
Well, I would like to see, I can see a well-coordinated, intelligence-led policing coming in. I can see that some arrest has been made and charged to court already, so that the people who did not commit offense will not suffer. I will also say that the police whose main aim, the police are the one that knows how to deal with the people. The military are not meant to be on the street when it comes to that situation. The situation where something triggered their action to come in onto the street is still something that we need to investigate and hear more from their side to be able to judge their action on this. But I'm expecting police to come now to make an arrest, which I expected. I also welcome the idea of the governor introducing a curfew into the state, and I also want to use this media to appeal to all parents, all citizens of Abia State. If you have a child, a youth on the street carrying sticks, this is the time to call them back in and tell them to please do things according to the do things within the ambit. Do
you think the 82 division should be withdrawn? I
think they should be withdrawn. I think they should be withdrawn, and I think the police have confirmed to me this morning that they've sent enough manpower.
Can they handle it if the military withdraw?
Well, I believe with enough manpower and with the few bitter lessons that have been learned on both sides, it should be curtailed if curfew is put in place.
Latibosun Abolariwa, a security consultant, thank you for talking to us this morning.
Thank you very much for your time.
We do have one more perspective, and we'll bring it to you when we return in a moment. Don't go away.